everyone, and welcome to Take Two Radio. I'm Pam, your host, and joining me today is the stranger because we haven't had her on the show forever. Hello, Sabina.
Hey, Pam. Hello, everybody.
What have you been up to?
Just work and babysitting and hanging with friends. That's about it.
Well, it's work and play, so that's a good thing. That's a good combination. Yep. And I think we're in for a treat tonight. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Sounds like it.
We were just discussing with our guest about his Tumblr, so let me let you know who's with us, although you should know if you've been reading the tweets, gone to my website, or been on my Facebook page. We welcome actor, writer, and producer Luke Albright. Hello, Luke.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be here.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you for joining us. We're happy to have you. So, yes, as we were discussing your Tumblr, I think that maybe we should have some more people reading that because it's a lot of fun to read, and you definitely have an imagination going on there.
Yeah, imagination, I think, is a kind way to put it. I appreciate that. I've heard much worse, so thank you.
Yeah. Well, it comes in handy with being a writer, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you kind of, I think, to be successful would hopefully have a good imagination, and that's never been a problem. So definitely got that going.
When you were younger, did you have make-believe friends?
No, I'm not insane. I have a good imagination, but I know that's a question you could ask my parents, but no, never that far, but was always drawing, writing, putting on ridiculous plays with my sister, building forts, creating all sorts of madness was what I like to do.
Well, when did you realize that you wanted to be in the entertainment business?
Oh, gosh, that one came about pretty late, actually. And I always come from a family where, being in the entertainment industry was not really an option. It was kind of, you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer or something pretty standard. I had never really even considered it, but graduated from college and then had a banking job down in Austin, Texas, and was really unhappy with where my life was headed, just was bored and not enjoying it, and just on a lark from talking to a friend decided to take an acting class and fell in love with it right then and there, and that was it. Got back into acting, started writing again, and just kind of took off from right there. So probably I didn't start acting until I was 24, I don't think.
Wow. That is rather late. I mean, most people these days, tell you, well, when I was 5,
Exactly. I'm very envious of those people that know from 5 or 6, like, I want to do this. This is what I'm going to do with my life. Really jealous of those people. I never knew.
Especially after spending all the money and time in college and doing something that you didn't want to do after you finished.
Right.
I mean, I had one of those situations one time.
Oh, did you same thing or?
Well, it wasn't actually college. I went to a school for medical coding and billing, thinking that's something I wanted to get into. And I had done customer service all my life, either by phone or as waitress or bartender or something. And so when I got into the medical and coding business and I got my first job, I spent 3 weeks there. I called my old boss back and said, oh, my God, I can't do this.
Yep.
I need to be back talking with people. I cannot sit and stare at a computer for 8 hours and just input all these medical codes and stuff. I couldn't take it. So that was a waste of time and money.
I completely understand that. That's why Office Space is one of my favorite films. I mean, it's just that kind of was my job, and I couldn't see my whole life turning out that way. You know what I mean? So you understand that.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And Sabina, same thing with you. I mean, I don't think you went to school for anything, but you're a people person. You're always out working jobs that involve people, right?
Yeah, I actually went to school for medical billing and coding, too. And I got a job. I got a job that they wanted me more for the insurance side, and the insurance stuff was going right over my head. And because I hadn't had the real world experience yet, they let me go because they said that I was not trainable the way they wanted to train me, which was basically, here you go, learn it, and figure out what we do. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work, which annoyed me. And now I paid money for that, or I'm still paying for that, and not even using it. So But yeah, I'm actually a photographer at a portrait studio. So
nice.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
much more interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely. I will say though that I don't regret college. Like I had an amazing time there, 5 years greatness. But yeah, I learned a lot of stuff that I probably haven't used in about 10 to 15 years. So.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
What was your first professional part?
My first professional part, wow, I think that would have to be in Austin doing just print work or commercials. But out here, I'm trying to think what my first kind of real paid TV gig was. I had a small role on Passions. Do you remember that soap opera?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, trust me. And if you've seen that show, you know that you're in for a doozy. I played a guy who, I guess one of the main characters was being pimped out by her boyfriend to be a hooker, and I played one of the guys that she had to, do her business with, and then she ended up killing me. Yeah, I died. It was amazing.
Why?
Imagine explaining that to your parents. Hey, guys, got an acting gig. I'm on a thing called Passions, and I get killed by a hooker. Yay. But that was actually a lot of fun. Yeah, that was a good time.
Well, Sabina and I both are huge soap opera watchers, and, me more so than her because she sticks with one soap, and I watch pretty much all of them. But I do remember Passions. I watched it for a little bit, and it was a little bit too much out there for me. So I didn't continue watching it.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, you've got a little guy turning from a doll into like a human being, and there's all sorts of, I don't know, you know what I mean? Yeah. Everyone was asking me, like, well, are you going to be on it again? And I was like, well, it killed me, so probably not, but no Passions, I could come back as a robot or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, well, that's one thing about the soap opera business is you're never really dead. You can come back in 10, 20 years, but with Passions being gone, I think you're pretty much gone from that.
Oh, no. Oh, God. Don't kill my dream. Oh, my goodness.
Did you watch yourself on it? What did you think, if you did watch it?
I thought it was hilarious. Yeah, I had a couple buddies that we watched it, and we were dying laughing the entire time. I mean, it was one of those things where I got to create a lot of my own dialogue on it, and some of the stuff I said was just so ludicrous. I mean, it was ridiculous. I just basically in my second scene stripped down to my boxers, and I'm like, let's get down to business. And I threw her on the bed.
Oh.
Yeah, it was acting at its finest. Daniel Day-Lewis would be ashamed of what I did.
Nice.
Is there anything? Is there anything that you took away from being on a soap that you realize, hey, this is good stuff? I mean, did you learn how to read a lot of pages or something?
Yeah, I have a ton of respect for the actors on daytime TV because they have to. Those scripts are changing so much, the writers and the actors, because it's such a massive amount of work. They do probably. I'm going to do a shameless plug right now. My girlfriend just shot an episode of General Hospital that I want y'all to watch out for. And the day that they were shooting, they did 56 setups. So, I mean, it's insane the amount of work these people do per day. And the actors, bundles and bundles of dialogue that they get the night before. You know what I mean? So to pull that off and make it even halfway believable, I have such a ton of respect for the people on those shows. It's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, I'm curious. Would you be interested in doing another soap, or are you basically done with that genre?
I think it would all depend on what kind of character they had coming for me. I think you could definitely have a lot of fun with it, and that's the thing with soap operas. The storylines are endless. It could go any number of different ways. But yeah, I think you could have a lot of fun. There's absolutely no reason I wouldn't do one.
Well, I don't know if you can tell us, but first of all, what's your girlfriend's name and what's her character name? Is she on there just for a guest spot, or is there a role?
She had a really nice guest spot. I can't say anything about the role, but I can tell you her name. Her name is Agnes Olek, and she's a very talented actress. I was really proud of her work, and as soon as I know, I'll let y'all know when it's going to air. It should air pretty soon, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely, because General Hospital I've been watching for a billion years, so yeah, I'd like to know.
You'll know for sure all of her scenes are with the main guy, the guy who's been playing Luke for 36 years, so you'll know it when you see her.
Oh, with Tony Gary.
Yeah.
Wow.
She said she was so impressed by him, just a sweetheart, just a really good guy.
That's awesome. Tell her congratulations.
I definitely will. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Now, what is your favorite genre of film to act in?
Oof, this is a good one. As a writer, what I'm probably best at is comedy. That's, I think, what originally got me into the business, was I love making people laugh. So for writing, I would say comedy. For me to sit back and watch a movie, I love action movies. I love them. Sci-fi or action. Can't get enough.
Yeah. Did you ever think to write one? I mean, I know you said you like to write comedies, but did you write one?
I got hired to adapt a graphic novel a few years ago called Brody's Law. I don't know if you've heard of it. It was
I've heard of it,
graphic novel. Yeah. And I did a pass on that for the people that had the option at the time, and ended up the option expired and they moved on, and I don't know what's going on with it. But I was really, really happy with the take I did on that. And it was a lot of fun, but what I will say about that is that was really dark source material. So when you lock yourself in your apartment for a month and that's all you're thinking about, it starts to affect you. It's a little bit weird. I don't know how often I would do that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you can get into that dark area, just like even when you're acting on something, whether it be TV or a film, and you have to play that role over and over and over and over. You have to learn how to get yourself out of that when you leave the set, I would imagine.
Absolutely. And I think, actors all take their different approaches, and they have their different methods or not methods at all. It is very important, I think, to have a life outside of that, and be able to separate yourself and say, okay, whether you're acting or writing, okay, I'm doing this for X amount of hours, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go do the other part of my life, which is very important as well, to kind of separate the two so you don't get caught in that weird area where you're like, is this taking over? I've seen a lot of people have problems with that.
Right. Now, which part have you played or have coming up is most like you?
Oh, that's a great question. There is a part in a film called Lost in a Crowd that is very similar to my comedic timing. I'd say give this guy about 5 drinks, shake him up like a bottle of shampoo, and then set him on like level 10, and it'd be that kind of expression of me. He's pretty similar to a character named Cole. A bit douchier, hopefully, than I am in real life. But there's the character that I play, the one I did with Gary Cairns, the one we wrote and we just filmed called Monumental. Mm-hmm. That one's a darker version of, I think, of me and a lot of people that I know. But, okay, the one I have coming out with Rennie, I think, is pretty much me. The Diablo Pass incident, that should be out August 23rd here in the States. I basically get to play me if I got to be the hero. You know what I mean? That's what I hope I am as a person.
Right.
So,
what is it about, Devil's Pass?
It's the All-Out Pass worldwide. In the U.S., it will be the Devil's Pass. And basically, it's based on a true story. If you guys research it, it's really creepy. Back in 1959, this group of hikers and skiers went out in the Russian wilderness just for an expedition. They're supposed to be gone for 2 weeks, and they never came back. So eventually people got worried and went and looked for them, and they found all 9 of them dead in, like, gruesome fashion. Like, some of their skulls were crushed, bones were broken.
Oh, wow.
From the inside, though, like, just there's no external wounds. Some people were missing their tongues. Their hair had radiation on it. It was really, really bizarre, and the Russian government just covered up completely. So no one ever knew what really happened to people. And if you research it, it's super creepy. So what we do is we play a group of American film students that go to document what happened, try to find out what happened, and, of course, that stuff starts out with stuff.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is creepy.
It's
especially
really
knowing that
bone-chilling.
It's based on a true story, you know.
Oh, the pictures online are horrific. So I was really